PowerPoint presentation. I'll let you loose to work on your projects I'm going to go over a little bit later. You're going to use your computer. Remember, when you're using the computer, use proper etiquette. Don't share any personal information. Don't bully anybody online. Don't go off track and do anything like that. Like I said, don't share any personal information. Use it wisely. Use it respectfully, okay? All right. So yesterday I went over some of the Greek pantheos with you and some of the gods. Right now, I'm going to go ahead and start the day off by talking about demigods. Demigods are offsprings of mortals and gods. Demigods are not as strong as gods, but they are a lot stronger than mortals. Popular demigods include Achilles, Hercules, and Orpheus. Achilles was y'all know the Achilles heel, right? And how he's immortal everywhere except for his heel. Right. Y'all know why that's important? You don't know what he actually did? He was a warrior during the Trojan War. The Trojan War was a really important part of Greek culture and the Greek pantheon and Greek history. It's a lot of how and why they came to be. And Achilles is one of the heroes of that. All right, Greek mythology stories. Stories in Greek mythology were used to help explain why things were the way that they were, why things happened a certain way, and how a place got its name. So just like in Christianity or a lot of other religions of the world, Greek mythology also has a creation story. Okay, that's something it shares. Greek mythology is also said to influence some parts of the Bible, especially in the Old Testament, especially a lot of the festivals that the early Christians did. Many stories were about the gods or heroes either doing something heroic, but there were also stories about the gods being mischievous. So a lot of these stories are about great battles or all the great things that the gods have done. Kind of like similar in the Bible, how most of the writing was all about these great, and especially in the Old Testament, how all the writing was all about these great battles, wonderful things God did, wonderful things His prophets did. But the Greek mythology also had them being mischievous. Zeus would come down and do stuff he wasn't supposed to, have different kids with human beings, pamper immoral affairs. In the Old Testament Bible, it's kind of similar. They had characters that didn't do what they were supposed to, like King David. How he sent a guy out to the front lines of war so he died so he could marry his wife. So it's kind of similar parallels there. Many of the Greek mythology stories have influenced other early religions, such as Roman mythology. How many of y'all have talked about mythology in history class? Y'all talk about mythology at all in history class? Like, some of y'all not? Okay. Well, here's the thing. Once the Greek Empire had settled down and died down, it went into the Roman Empire, and what the Romans did is they took the Greek gods and the Greek pantheons, changed its name, changed around a little bit in some of the stories, and added their own gods and their own elements as well. Early Christianity also took some of the holidays that were in Roman and Greek mythology, made them their own. That's how we get Christmas. Here's some example of Greek mythology stories about gods. The name giving of Athens. That's where Athena and Poseidon both competed to have their name be, had this great city, which became Athens, how they competed to get their name on it. What they're supposed to do is they're supposed to give something to the people that would please them. Athena won out. Kronos versus Zeus. Of course, you know Zeus battled Kronos and freed his siblings from Kronos' stomach. Pandora's box of pure evil. Once opened, unleashed all the evils of humanity on the world. Then the birth of Athena. She jumped forth from Zeus's head wearing a full suit of armor and being fully grown. Examples of mythology stories about demigods. You have Perseus slays Medusa, Achilles' heel, the 12 labors of Hercules. How many of y'all have ever played that game, The God of War? Really?
I've never played it.
That used to be real popular when I was young. In The God, well, it's a useful example now. But in the 12 labors of Hercules, Athena drives Hercules insane and has Hercules kill his entire family. For repentance, he goes on these 12 seemingly impossible labors and completes all of them, and that's kind of a similar backstory from the character of that video game. There's also Greek mythology stories about mortals. There's human beings also played a role in mythology and the culture and the build-up of Roman history and religion. Played a part in Roman religion at the time. Not all Greek mythology stories are centered around gods or demigods. Mortals also played a role in Greek mythology. Stories from mortals, the main character, were often heroic stories or cautionary tales. An example of a heroic story would be Jason and the Argonauts. They were on the hunt for the Golden Fleece, and they find it. And then there's also cautionary tales. How many of y'all have ever heard the tale of Icarus? Icarus was him and his father were trapped in I think it was a labyrinth or cave.
It was labyrinth.
Labyrinth. They trapped in a labyrinth, and they make these wings out of wax to escape, and they start flapping their wings, and they're successful. They do escape, but Icarus flies too close to the sun, and it starts melting. His wings start melting.